There are three kinds of people out there right now. The first is the person who will follow Trump no matter what he says or does, and completely throws out all of their own logic and lays it in the hands of President Donald Trump. The second person is the person who hates Donald Trump, the person who does the exact opposite of person number one and wants everything that Trump touches to fail. And then there's the third person, and that is you and me. And we are the people who are buying stocks at great prices anytime we frickin' can. So, market is crashing like a mother right now. Crash. We're SPY is down somewhere around 11 or 12% at the moment. We're in correction territory, but stocks everywhere are getting decimated. And, it doesn't matter. When in 2022, when Biden was president and the stock market was crashing, all the Republicans, all the people that were Trump people, that were anti-Biden were saying, don't touch the market. He's destroying our country. What was I doing? What were you probably doing? We were buying stocks. All right. We were buying stocks, and that is going to be the same thing I do. And hopefully you're doing as I'm sure you are. We're buying stocks right now because they're cheap and they're getting cheaper. And if I buy a stock tomorrow and it goes down another 20% over the next few months, I will buy it all the way down. Let's look at a couple things and make a quick video about what's going on right now. I hope y'all are doing okay out there as everyone's portfolio is tumbling at the moment. My name is Trey. This is Investing by Numbers. We talk all things stock market investing. Usually we talk about individual stocks and current market trends, things that are going on. What stocks are maybe a buy. I always go over what stocks I'm buying every month and go over my portfolio here and there. So if you're into that kind of thing, subscribe to the channel, please. We're a small channel, and pushing the like button also helps us out tremendously as a small channel. But what are we looking at here? This is foxnews.com, okay? This is Fox News. Headline, and this is just the home page here. President Trump touts return of the American dream and historic tariff announcement. April 2nd, 2025 will go down as one of the most important days in modern American history. Trump rolls out sweeping new tariffs, what to know, which countries impose the highest tariffs on the U.S. And as we scroll down, we see other things like Trump admin acts after blue state refuses to comply with the executive order. Top Biden aide describes Biden being out of it before President Trump debate. Teslas are burning. We don't like that. Stuff about trans people. More stuff about the left. So not a whole lot talking about the market right now. Because why? Well, that's not in their best interest. Okay? We all know Fox is on the side of Donald Trump and the Republican Party. Let's switch over to the homepage of CNN. All right. Trump signs new tariffs on virtually all imports. Along with a base tariff of 10%, Trump announced reciprocal tariffs on a list of dozens of countries. Trump just massively escalated his trade war. Here's what he said. Stock futures plunge as investors digest Trump's tariffs. Fact check Trump's false claims about tariffs and trade. And other things along those lines. Egg prices are falling, but there's a catch. So, can you see this? Just the first two kinds of people, all right? The people that get on foxnews.com and the people that get on cnn.com. Two kinds of people. And the third kind of people is our kind of people, the kind that are buying, that don't pay attention to this stuff, guys. I mean, it's all so polarizing and sided, no matter what news source you look at. And it's important. And I'm not saying don't have an opinion on economics and policies and social economics and all that stuff. I've got my own opinions that I'm not going to divulge into right now. But what we're talking about, the stock market. And obviously, this is just to show you that they just want to confuse everybody and get you on a side. And obviously the stock market is dropping pretty bad right now. Fox doesn't want to talk about that. They only want to talk about the good things. CNN only wants to scare you and make sure that you hate Donald Trump. These are their sides. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. That's what they're doing. That's what sells them. That's what makes them money, is freaking people out, making everyone scared, or making people blindly follow them and believe every single word that comes out of their mouth. All right. But let's talk about the good thing right now. Everyone's in panic, and that means one thing: it is time to buy. And I don't care if the market is down 10% or 30%. I will be buying all the way down. That's what we do as investors. We look for these as opportunities, no matter which president does it, and if whether or not they're on your side or not. It doesn't matter. This is all about building your future. And if you are anti-Trump, you should be buying. If you are pro-Trump, you should be buying good stocks or overall index funds. Okay, but we like to buy great companies at great values, and the great values are banging on your door right now. Check out NVIDIA. I mean, NVIDIA is one of the fastest growing stocks of the Mag 7, maybe the biggest, fastest growing stock in the stock market. All right. I mean, their revenues and net incomes have been roaring over the past few years. And right now, after hours, we are down almost 6% to $104 a share. Look at this chart. Let's check out the 1 year chart. Obviously 110 right here, but we are actually, down a little further than that. But this is a stock that, was riding at the top for a while, and I was waiting for it to get under $127 a share. Since then, earnings have come in, and actually my line in the sand is probably more like 135, possibly higher depending on what other stocks in the market are doing. But NVIDIA now is down at 104. If you sell right now, all right, you sell while your stocks are, right now the market's down around 10% from all-time highs, at least the S&P. Your stocks probably are more like, 15 to 20% down from all-time highs, maybe more, maybe a little less. But if you sell right now, let's say, you're like, okay, this stuff's freaking me out. Trump's going to ruin the economy. You sell your stocks. When do you buy back in? What makes the decision of when you buy back in? I mean, is it going to be when it starts to go up? Well, guess what? It can easily just crash from there. No one knows what the stocks are going to do. So that's why we look at valuations. That's why we're looking at PE ratios, historical PE ratios. We're looking at balance sheets, and we're looking at how much growth in revenue and net margins and net income and all that stuff, cash on hand, how much money these companies have in the bank. These are the things that are important, not what's going on. Could you bet that most likely the market is going to be lower tomorrow than it is right now? Yeah, and I'd probably agree with you. I bet you tomorrow will be a red day, and it might drop even further, but we don't know that, guys. I mean, this could have been what everyone was waiting for. Tomorrow we might see a dip right at open, and all of a sudden for the rest of the day, stocks recover. All right? We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. No one ever does. Everyone will give you their opinion. And guess what? It's so easy to give your opinion on the stock market, because if you say, oh, well, tomorrow, stocks are going down. So, that first thing in the morning when everything's down 3 or 4% or whatever, 1, 2%, and you say, look, I was right. They were down. And then, you walk away and you were right. Let's say you're one of those people that say, oh, don't worry about it. It's just a dip. Everything will correct. Well, and then tomorrow stocks are up a few percent. See, no big deal. You were right. Well, in both cases, you can be right and wrong, because the thing you're not factoring into it is time. All right. Are you talking about tomorrow? Are you talking about next year? No one knows. And you can't time the market. You just can't. Either you're playing a risk-reward game and you're betting that more likely a stock will go up than go down, so you have a time limit on whatever trade you decide to take. Okay, fair enough, but it's still not 100%, okay? It's not 100%. The longer amount of time you expose yourself to, especially for the upside, if you're buying great companies at great prices, it's really hard to fail. And there's a good chance if you're doing it the right way, you're beating the market most years, and you're growing at a faster pace than, you know, everyone else is with the 401ks, because you're putting in the time and effort to research this stuff. You're putting in the nights, getting home after work, researching companies on YouTube, trying to learn how to evaluate companies. All that stuff pays off, I promise you. If you dedicate half an hour a day to researching stocks, learning how to value stocks, learning how to read balance sheets, you will do well. All right. That's the same thing as athletes staying in the gym. All right. Knowledge is power. And it's something, if you're a stock investor, if you have it right now, you will make some money long term. And that's whether or not we've hit a bottom or we still drop another 10, 15, 20% over the next few months. All right. Because no matter what happens is you're going to understand the fact that no one can time the market. And the only thing you can do is buy stocks at great prices. Check this out. My portfolio is down 5%, and it's all pretty much after hours. Well, some of it was before hours. And this is only about 40% of my portfolio. The rest of it is doing just as bad, my Schwab account. But I'm Robinhood right now to check a few things out. All right. Let's look at 2022. Biden was president, and if you were someone that voted for Trump and lost that election, as the stock market tanked, you were saying, I told you so. I wouldn't touch the market. Economy's going to go bankrupt. We're over. Country is done unless we can get a new president in here. Let's check some things out. 5-year chart. All right, this is Netflix, and here we are, May 2022, as things were crashing. We were at an all-time high at the end of 2021 in Netflix, almost $700 a share. And within just a few months, all right, what was that? Okay, October 2021, and then into spring of 2022, into early summer, we bottomed here, at least on Netflix, and we got down to all the way below $200 a share. And look what happened. All right, if you were buying down here, and it didn't matter if you were, buying in this area right here. I think this was actually when, they kind of got to a decent valuation as it came down. And then if you bought all the way down and just bought everything under this line here, look what you've done. Even if you had a price average of 375, even right now, as the economy's down, we're at 908. Just what, 2.5 years later? Let's check out NVIDIA. We had all-time highs end of 2021. Yeah, here at $31 a share, $33 a share, and obviously over a few months into that summer, we finally NVIDIA. Well, into the fall, almost coming up on a year later, we were down to $12 a share. All right, $12 a share, and you see what happened after that. $12 a share, and now we're at 104 just 2-3 years later. What's that, like a 7 or 8 times your money? 9? I'm not that quick at math. But you see what I'm saying, guys. And right here was when people were freaking out, saying that don't buy stocks, wait for everything. What are you going to wait for? Wait for it's already at new time highs again? Sure, you can still make money. But when you're buying great companies, guys, this is where it happens, all right? It's when stuff's down. But anyway, guys, that's all I want to say, all right? Remember to keep your head about you, keep your wits about you. Keep looking for great values and great companies. And this is the time when it's the easiest, all right? When everyone's freaking out, when stocks are dropping, all right, this is the easiest time to look like a genius 2 years down the road. All right, it's hard when markets are up, and you might feel great making your few percent here and there, but it's a lot easier to buy the wrong stock when the market's up and it tanks during this section here, and it was already overvalued, and now you're just way down. Let's say you bought a stock that was like Tesla at all-time highs, and then it gets cut in half. All right. Whereas if you're already waiting for a good deal and you start buying NVIDIA at 127, and let's say it drops down, to 90, not near as much of a drop, but we still have all of the upside left for a company like NVIDIA. We've got everything after this correction or crash. We don't know what's going to happen. It could keep going, but keep buying those stocks. Keep doing your research. Keep studying what's out there and looking for great value. Don't let all this other stuff get in the way of that. Will tariffs affect our economy? Yes, they definitely will. Will prices go up? Probably so. Will stocks continue to drop more? Probably. But we don't know anything for sure. And so you just keep buying and keep buying and keep buying. And you do that for years. And one day you won't have, you'll look back on this period, even if you remember it, and laugh. All right. Because there's a good chance that we might not see much more downside after this. We could. But even if we see a 20% decline from all-time highs for the overall market, 30 years from now, your portfolio will remember, but you won't remember this. Very little. You'll be like, oh, yeah, I think I do remember when Trump was pushing all those tariffs. Oh, that was kind of the start of that one market crash back in 2025. That's right. I do remember that now. That's probably the worst case scenario 30 years from now. All right. So, quick video. Keep buying. Don't let all this fear, dissuade you from investing in the market. Don't cash out. Keep doing your thing. I'll keep doing mine. And we will keep making videos. And we will keep just being astonished at how low some of these stocks will go. And we will buy them all the way down. The only time we sell is if we are trimming positions for profits or underlying fundamentals have taken a turn for the worse. Not because the overall market's going down. That is not a reason to sell your stocks if they're good stocks, and it never will be. So anyways, quick video there, guys. I wasn't really planning on making a video tonight, but after watching, my own portfolio, watching the news clips, watching Trump's speech about tariffs, and seeing these headlines between Fox News and CNN, these kind of things just drive me nuts. And when I see my friends on Facebook talking about, one of my friends posted, dump all your stocks now. The market is going to completely crash tomorrow and no one knows when it's coming back. And it takes everything I have not to comment. And it's not even have anything to do with politics. It's just the fact that I want to comment so bad. You're doing it wrong, man. You're doing it wrong. But not us. We're staying on the straight and narrow. We take the road less traveled. That's what we do as stock investors. We deal with haters all the time. You can't beat the market. You need to sell your stocks because bad times are coming. Oh, why don't you buy this stock that everyone's talking about that's at all-time highs? Why aren't you buying that? You should buy that. Stay true to yourself, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video.